Good morning, BSB. Today, I'm back in the Land Cruiser. If you caught me last week, um, I was stuck on the side of the road with the RACQ turning up as I went live. It was one of those split decisions where I didn't really know what to do. I wasn't sure whether or not I should try and cancel my stream and, just deal with the problem in front of me. And I thought, bugger it. I thought I'll try and do this stream. And literally, as I pushed live, I saw my mate from RACQ coming round the corner. Now, the hilarious end to that story was that I thought I'd, blown an airline or something like that. And he said to me, he said, "Oh, mate, you got some fuel in this, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah." And then I looked at the number of kilometres that I'd driven, and then I laid under the car and sort of did the old tap tap on the fuel tank, and yeah, sort of went, oh god. So yeah, the breakdown that I had wasn't some airline or something, you know, terrifically complex. It wasn't a shut off valve. It was, yep, I'd run out of fuel. So that was a good party trick. So I'm actually back in said Land Cruiser today. If you're interested in such things, it is a 1988 VX Sahara with a 12 HT. Yeah, if those sort of things entertain you. But look, what I was talking about today and what I wanted to come back to was just this concept of progress. Um, like it's something I talk to about every single one of my clients. Like my business is marketing, that's what I do. I help people with comms, strategy, rollout of stuff. And my advice is always the same. Like, what I do isn't particularly hard. Mate, give me a box of Crayola and I can do some coloring in for you. The challenge in, decent marketing, same as anything else that we do, running our businesses, getting fit, building old cars, it's patience and perseverance. They're the only things that seem to make any difference in anything that I ever put my mind to. And I guess why I come back to this, if you caught my stream, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago now, a little piece titled Legacy. A friend of mine, a young bloke I'd become friends with and had the opportunity to mentor, he decided to take his own life. And, that sort of brings up a hell of a lot of things. And, the fact that he couldn't find any other way forward in his life, I find that to be, the most tragic part. The fact that he didn't get the chance to talk, didn't ask the question, didn't explain how he was feeling. And, that's been really difficult, just sitting with that. And I think the hardest thing is, getting up the next day and then just continuing to put one foot in front of the other. When you've got, these feelings of sadness and, when you see things around you and it's, I really liken it to what we do in the sense that, there's not a lot of, not a lot of good things some days. But, if you don't persevere, if you don't find a good reason to keep going, the other options are not great. And I guess that's why I do what I do. And I think I sort of wanted to share that today because I caught up with Jamie yesterday, who's one of the new people here at BSB. And, I talked to him about what he was looking to achieve, being part of BSB. And, he told me about his business and what he does and his experience. And, he obviously asked me the same question. And I thought that's not something that I've talked about. So I thought, why not? Might as well put that out there. Like I joined BSB, a friend of mine introduced me to Kevin, and I have been a member of this group since about 2018. And I've seen, just a good local supportive community. And you'll notice that from my time here, like I'm not selling you anything. I'm not trying to get new clients. You'll notice that like I literally don't have anything to sell you. I'm not looking to bring people on. What I felt that I really missed in the years that I started, because, I was sort of gearing up 2006, started the business 2008. Um, there wasn't much in the way of community around starting a small business. It was very isolating. I felt very much alone. I struggled to have people to talk to. I struggled to have people to ask questions. I had one wonderful man that ran an accounting firm, and he provided me with guidance. He was one of the only people that ever, sort of said to me that, absolutely, mate, I'll give you a hand. Most people I spoke to said, "Oh, mate, that's stupid. Not a good time to start a business. That won't work. Not a very good idea. Not very safe. Not very secure." And I was sort of blown away at, I was obviously very excited to tell people that I was ready to go out on my own. And I thought people would be, enthusiastic about that. And I was a bit surprised to discover that overwhelmingly people were not supportive. And, that sort of gets pretty hard. And then I guess you stop talking to people about it because you sort of get sick of their negativity. It's like, yes, mate, I've thought that through. I have realized that going from a full-time salary job with a mortgage to earning $0 a week, I have done the sums, and I've realized that that's not a great idea. But you know what? I'm willing to do it anyway. And, I took other jobs. I was banging pegs in the ground as a surveyor. That was one of my favorite jobs. You'd be out on the sledgehammer because you could still take your calls. And like, somebody would ring. I'm like, oh, just out on the tools. And I was actually, marking out houses out in North Lakes and, Gold Coast hinterland. That is not pleasant. It's all rock. I can tell you that much. You are literally, that is backbreaking labour. You are splitting rocks with a sledgehammer and a pick, and doing those sorts of things to keep enough money coming in to pay the mortgage. It really, I don't know, it hardens you, and the years of doing all this stuff, it really hardens you to keep going, to keep putting one foot in front of the other, to have people telling you that it's stupid and that it won't work and that it's a bad idea. And, I continue to put one foot in front of the other. And oddly enough, I have made these things work. And as I got better at it, I, sort of set loftier targets for myself and, did those too. And the opportunity I saw was, I'm 14 years into this now. And I have made so many catastrophic fuck ups that I can't even begin to tell you. I got some great stories. I probably won't share them all here, but I'm happy to tell you in person. And I sort of thought that it was nice to be able to start sharing some of these things, just to be able to chat to other business owners, to be able to talk to them and say, yeah, that's pretty normal. A fellow I was talking to the other day, he's Sparky, he's got a business, he's up and running. But, he didn't have any of his zero sorted out. He had, he wasn't sure what was coming or going. He's trying to decide whether he wants to buy another car. I'm like, mate, stop. Go to your accountant, sit down, get your numbers right, understand your P&L, understand what's coming in, understand what's going out, get your fundamentals right. And he's like, oh, you're the third person that said that to me. I'm like, yes, mate, that's because that's what you need to do. And, understanding, basic principles, getting this one foot in front of the other, these really simple processes, end up underpinning everything you do. And I really enjoy sort of reading. I'm reading a book at the moment, How Champions Think, and it's, sort of sports psychologist and, worked with all the sort of top names. And everything he talks about is the same. You decide you're going to do it, you break it up into little steps, and you just keep doing it. And it inevitably goes wrong, and you dust that off and you keep going. Like, the message is the same. Anybody that gets up and talks to you about success, life, coaching, anything else, it's always the same message. What's really strange, though, is when it actually starts working in your own life and you realize it's actually not achieving the next big goal. Because the problem is, I sort of did the biggest job I'd ever done in my life. It took me 5 years to pull it together. And the minute I won that deal, my brain goes, okay, what's next? And I'm like, So I realized that, what's next doesn't work. what works is just having the relentless discipline each day to keep doing something fun, keep finding, something exciting, and just keep putting one foot in front of the other. That's the game. And it's actually brought a lot of relief and a lot of joy that I don't feel like I've got to strive for you know, some new height to try and prove to myself that I am worthy. As thousands of dollars worth of therapy and thousands of hours taught me, that's enough. So look, I hope that I don't know. I hope that's useful. I hope I haven't just wasted 10 minutes and 38 seconds of your morning. I hope there's something in there that makes sense. But I guess I just wanted to chat about that this morning and I guess explain to you why I'm here, which I realize now I'm circling back and haven't told you the last part, is that the other thing I wanted to do was I wanted to get comfortable talking to camera. And that's my selfish reason as to why I'm in here. Is I wanted to do this, and I'll be honest with you, it scared the shit out of me. When they go, "Oh, you got to do a live stream every Tuesday," I'm like, "Oh," and I go back and I look at some of my first ones, and they're pretty rough and pretty shaky, and I've tried a heap of different things, but I'm not trying to do it quickly. This at a minimum, I reckon it'll take me a year, probably take me 2 years, maybe 3 years, but I'm also comfortable with those sort of durations. So that's my selfish reason for being here. Interestingly, not to sell you anything, but my selfish reason for being here is to practice doing this. So I hope that it's interesting. I hope it's worthwhile. I hope you enjoyed the brown velour of my 1980s Land Cruiser, and I hope you have a bloody great day. Talk to you soon.